important lecture. I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters, everyone, for supporting my channel. You know, my channel would not be where it's at today without all of my support. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's very important lecture. And I've been wanting to revisit this topic for a while now, which is understanding. I'm gonna give some insight I'm gonna give some insight why people relapse, meaning return back to use to alcohol or drugs during any time. And the viewer is aware, I'm a licensed clinical addiction therapist, although I'm retired, but I do maintain my credentials. I'm credentialed in 3 different states. I retired September 2023 after working 23 plus years in the field of addiction as a clinical advisor. So, I'll always from time to time like to revisit and do lectures on substance abuse, relapse prevention, the disease concept of addiction. But this lecture is I'm gonna give some insight in regards to people, in regards to why people relapse, meaning return back to alcohol or drug use. And this it's many reasons, but I'm gonna put my emphasis on explaining to the listener and the viewer and give us some insight on the powerful world of psychological dependency, which is a big, huge reason what causes relapse at any time. But people who are struggling with relapse, believe it or not, the holidays may be a joyous moment for us, but many people who are in recovery relapse during the holidays, and it has a lot to do with psychological dependency. We're talking about the mind now. And what makes that psychological dependency so powerful, it's made up of 4 parts. And I'm going to explain all 4 parts. And that first part of psychological dependency in the field of addiction is what we call state-dependent learning. And what state-dependent learning is, when a person is in full-blown addiction, when they're active use from the alcohol or drugs, it don't matter what drug it is, it could be cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, Xanax, the alcohol, substance use people. And what state-dependent learning is, when a person becomes accustomed to performing certain skills and functions only when they're alcohol or drug impaired. Something as simple as getting up in the morning. People who are in full-blown addiction, they're active use. Most people get up in the morning, may need that cup of coffee to get moving around. But when a person's in a full-blown addiction, they wake up and they can't even get going, moving around in the morning until they had their substance of choice, rather it's the alcohol or the drugs. And they literally, first thing they do when they wake up is reach for their substance in order to get moving around good before they can even start their day. That's a clear description of state-dependent learning. When a person becomes accustomed to performing certain skills, tasks, and duties only when they're alcohol or drug impaired. Even if they still have a job at this point, don't think that they're not sneaking in the bathroom or while they're at work to use their substance, the alcohol or drug of choice, in the bathroom in order to finish out the essential job functions of their job, the task and duty of their job. So that's another clear description of what state-dependent learning is when the user becomes accustomed to performing certain tasks, skills, duties, the essential functions of their job only when they're alcohol or drug impaired. Sometimes cleaning the house, doing house chores, washing the dishes. That person may not be able to get going well with those house chores until they had the substance of choice, rather it's the alcohol or the drugs or the Xanax or the methamphetamine or the cocaine or the beer or the liquor or the whiskey or whatever. They cannot get going well with those house chores. Rather it's mopping or cutting the grass until they have had their alcohol or drug of choice. And that's a thorough description of what state-dependent learning is, which is a component of psychological dependency, which is mental people. A second component of psychological dependency, which makes this so powerful. And all of this ties in relapse, because many times when the holidays come up, I'm gonna revisit state dependent learning. When we're in the holidays, many people who are struggling with maintaining their sobriety, because when they were in their active addiction, when holidays came up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, they would get drunk or high in order to function during those holidays. So when holidays resurface, that's a trigger, that's a psychological trigger that can drive the person to relapse because of that powerful thing of state dependent learning. Because when they were in their active addiction, they associated with the holidays and getting drunk or high, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and getting drunk or high in order to function through that holiday function. And I'm here to tell you. And then the second component of psychological dependency in the field of addiction, we call preoccupation. And what preoccupation is, the user becomes so mentally obsessed and preoccupied in feeding their addiction, the ongoing substance use, the alcohol, the drugs. They begin to become preoccupied if they begin to notice their substance or the drug of choice is getting low. So they become preoccupied and thinking, I gotta hurry up and get to the dope man. I gotta hurry up and get to my stash to continue to feed my addiction. That preoccupation is a powerful driving force to continue the cycle of addiction. They can be at a family function. It can be at a family cookout, a family holiday function, a birthday, or graduation. Physically, they're there, but mentally, their mind is preoccupied on what they got to do to continue to feed their addiction, the steps they got to go through to get more of the substance, the steps they got to go to get to the dope man, the lies and the manipulation they got to come up with to get more money to continue to feed their addiction. So they're more preoccupied on all of the steps they got to go through to continue to feed their addiction versus enjoying that family event. Rather it's a birthday or a dinner or a movie or even sometimes at a funeral. They're so preoccupied and worried about meeting with the dope man, and that's a powerful driving force that ties into psychological dependency, and it has a direct impact on relapse people. And then a third component of psychological dependency in the field of addiction, we call the relationship with the alcohol or the drug of choice. By this stage of the game, the person's substance use has progressed to the point where they have damaged real relationships with the mother, father, sister, brother, significant other, the employer, people in the community. So now they have formulated a relationship with their primary drug of choice. They're going to tell lies about they're going to tell lies about uh, relapse. Somebody may ask them, have you returned to use? Have you relapsed on substances? Because I'm noticing your behavior has changed. I'm noticing you're missing family events. I'm noticing that the money, you can't explain where the money is going. So they're going to lie about the severity of their use. They're going to lie to that mother, father, sister, brother, significant other about the severity of their use, because now they have formulated a relationship with their primary drug of choice, and they're going to do whatever it takes to maintain the secrecy of their addiction by lying about the severity of their use, lying about knowing that they have relapsed, but they're going to tell significant others that they have not. So they're going to do whatever they can to protect their relationship with their primary drug of choice, or alcohol. And then we have the fourth component, psychological dependency, which is psychological defenses. Psychological defenses are unconscious. It's designed to keep the user, it's designed to keep the user to use more and more and more. Inside of the person, they know what they're doing is wrong. Psychological defenses are unconscious. Inside, they know what they're doing is wrong, but that psychological defense is like a powerful shield to keep the user from hearing the truth. And they're going to do whatever they can to protect the severity of their addiction. So if family members or significant others or loved ones may approach the person and say, I'm concerned about the behavior I see. I'm concerned about the family functions. I'm concerned about you always seem to be broke, but yet you're getting up and going to work every day. So that person may respond in a defensive way, and sometimes they will curse at the person or disengage from the person, yell at the person, because psychological defenses are unconscious. It's designed to keep the user in that defensive mode, and it propels the addiction further and further and further. And all of these four components that I just described all ties into the powerful word of psychological dependency. And all of these four components of psychological dependency has a powerful impact on what causes people to relapse, to continue their use, to propel deeper into their addiction, especially during the holidays. This is a powerful thing, people. And I tell anyone, if you know someone who is struggling in maintaining their sobriety or who has relapsed, it is critical that they seek the professional help with people who are trained to assist people in recovery. Rather, they need to go to detox or recovery program or get a counselor. But at this stage of the game, they are going to need professional help to reclaim their sobriety life. And I'm here to tell you. And again, around the holidays, it's a challenge for people who are struggling to maintain their sobriety during the holidays, because you got to remember, when they were in their full-blown addiction, holidays was during the time when they were used the most to self-medicate a lot of pain and etc. So when holidays do come, even if they are in sobriety, a lot of times the holidays can be a trigger for relapse, and that's more of a reason they got to have that support network in place, rather it's a counselor, rather it's a sponsor, rather it's supported family or etc. Because this is a real topic. Like I said, I worked as a licensed clinical expert for 23 years of my professional career. I retired September 2023. I still maintain all of my credentials. That from time to time I do consultant work. But this is real talk, people. This is real talk. And unfortunately, detox programs and treatment programs get full during the holidays, full, because people are relapsing left and right during the holidays. Facilities are always at full capacity in relation to substance abuse treatment during the holidays. Make no mistake. Share this information. Somebody might need to hear this information. And that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelity. I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.